Welcome to Complexity Made Simple, and my name is Paul Allen. And before we get into today's fantastic video newsletter, what I'd like to talk to you about is all the materials that you can purchase to help to support the channel. We've got these fantastic textbooks that range from the simple statistical process control for small batch production. We've got the 7 quality tools for world-class problem solving, which is essentially yellow belt material. Then we move on to design of experiments for 21st century engineers. Every engineer and scientist needs to be able to do design of experiments. And then finally, drink tea and read the paper. The most fantastic green belt handbook you can buy on the market today, full of practical tips and fantastic physics that'll help you become a world-class engineer and a world-class quality engineer. Of course, you can also click on the link to buy me a coffee and make a donation. That would be fantastic. But at the very least, click on subscribe, click on like the video, because it all helps to support the channel. Many thanks for your help, and now on to today's video. Welcome to the latest video. And in this video newsletter, what we want to talk about is what is practical process control. So people talk about keeping processes under control, but practically, what does that mean? Instead of just saying phrases, what does practical process control mean? Because when you throw these phrases out, people immediately kind of substitute them for a different meaning. And the word process control, probably people think that means defect free. Process control doesn't mean defect free. What process control means is this: control equals consistent process behavior. Consistent process behavior. In other words, we have a process. We get the process so that it's under control, and then we take some data. That is the natural pattern of behavior for our process. Now, what does process control mean? It means that if I come back in 10 years' time and I plot the same graph, I will get the same behavior. Unless, of course, you've made process improvements. But let's assume that for whatever reason, you don't make process improvements. It's a process that you like. It doesn't need improving. It's making a relatively cheap part. You don't want to spend bucket loads of money on it. And you just leave it. But in 10 years' time, is it producing the same process behavior as it was on day one? That is process control. So that's the first definition we have to understand. Process control means consistent process behavior. Now then, practically, what does that mean? Well, it simply means this. It means process maintenance. If I could get senior managers to focus on one thing in a manufacturing company, it would be maintenance, process maintenance. But hang on a second. Practically, what does that mean? I don't mean equipment. I do mean equipment, but I don't mean equipment exclusively. When I draw the cause and effect diagram, when I'm doing the fishbone diagram here, I create 6 categories. What are those 6 categories? Well, people, machines, environment, methods, materials, and measurement. They're the 6 categories. And what you should have is process maintenance for all 6 of those categories. Now, usually what we've got often, of course, because we think of maintenance as being about machines, we've often got a maintenance system for our machines. Now, sometimes, by the way, that gets violated because when you come under production pressure, what's the first thing you stop doing? You ain't got time to do the maintenance anymore because you're not producing enough products. And of course, what do? Less maintenance, and your process just spirals completely out of control and you don't get consistent process behavior. So we've often got this system. But then you go, okay, look, the environment. Let's say you've created a brilliantly 5S, brilliantly organized workplace. Labels on everything, lines on the floor to indicate gangways, storage areas, pull system signals, all that kind of fantastic stuff. As you use that environment, of course, you're going to deteriorate all of those signs and labels and colors. And what's your maintenance system? What's your maintenance system for that? And by the way, senior management, this is you. You should walk around. If you see deteriorating processes, what should you do? Stop the people in that area. Talk to the team leader. Make sure that at the next available opportunity, they do some process maintenance. So the environment needs maintenance. How about the people? Because the people are constantly churning, constantly changing. How do you make sure that you have people maintenance, that they've all got the right skills, the right process understanding, etc. They all know what they're doing. What's your people maintenance? Okay, so you need a process maintenance for that. What else have we got here? Methods. What's your method maintenance? Now, this probably triggers in with the people, doesn't it? So these two probably come together. Do you have a system for making sure that your methods and your people training are maintained, that you keep as good as new, as good as best, however you want to describe it? What's your process maintenance? Materials. Of course, what do purchasing want to do? They want to go and buy the cheapest shit that they can lay their hands on. And they will buy deteriorating materials that are not as good and things like that. What's your process maintenance to stop that happening in your company? And finally, of course, measurement systems. What's your maintenance system? Now, often this is calibration, but calibration on its own doesn't stop measurement systems deteriorating because, of course, people. So you often find people are part of the measurement process as well. So again, these two. What's your maintenance systems? Now, some of them you will have. People have systems for this. They conduct annual measurement systems analysis. They conduct annual calibration. Fantastic. If you think you've got this, brilliant. You don't have to worry about it. If you think you've got this, you don't have to worry about it. But think about the areas where you don't have process maintenance. But process control means consistent process behavior. And consistent process behavior needs full and complete process maintenance. Now, I say this in other videos, but I will say it again. The best companies in the world are brilliant at process maintenance. They really are. When you work in a factory that is top of the charts And certainly when I worked in the Sony factory in the 1990s, we were definitely one of the best television manufacturing companies in the world in those days. The management in that company and the systems that we had were brilliant at process maintenance. Were we perfect? Absolutely not. So there were areas where we could have improved. But in order to be as good as we were, when I look back, it's constantly bearing down on me as a line manager on that site was process management activity, process maintenance activity. I was constantly under pressure to maintain the process and to keep it in as great condition. And when you keep it in great condition, you stay in control. And as sportsmen, world-class sportsmen know, you cannot be consistently crap at something. If you get consistent process behavior, you will be world-class, you will beat your competition, and you will make more money.